And finally, I hope you're getting lots from these inspirational case studies. Please capture some notes. What are your key learnings from them? And finally, I'd like to put your hands together and help me welcome Stuart Scott.
Hello, everyone. So, honoured to be up on this stage. Thank you very much for your support along the journey. I've got a huge amount of content I want to share with you, so if it's okay, I'm going to try and keep the pace quite quick because I want to share it so that you can take the learning from it. So, a bit background about myself. I live in Brighton, which is on the south coast. I spent around 15 years in the corporate world, working my way through advertising and marketing agencies. I really enjoyed my job. I stayed there for a long time, but I got as far as I could. I decided I wanted to be my own boss, like some of us do, and that's exactly what I did. I started my own company. That was a company called Byte Studio. It was a digital agency. I built that over 7 years. That company was acquired by another company called StoryStream. I became a co-founder of that company, and I helped build that company for another 3 years. The background in property that we had, me and my wife were serial renovators, which basically meant we liked to get our hands dirty and do the refurbs ourselves. I don't do that anymore, Simon. You'll be pleased to know. But it meant that, and also, we built up a small portfolio, and we had a really good grounding in adding value and adding wow factor. So we knew how to make profit, but we didn't know the advanced strategies of cash flow and everything else. So my reason why is during the time I was building StoryStream, we were trying to start a family, and we had been told we could never have children, and we were completely devastated by this because, of course, if we couldn't have kids, why was I working long hours as company director? Why was my wife doing the same? And we got ourselves back up, we dusted ourselves down, we didn't take no for an answer, we scoured across the UK to find the best specialists we could. That led us to some research that was happening in New York. We worked with some amazing people there, and we had a beautiful paper dolls. We were told she wasn't possible. Sorry, guys. But it just shows what's possible if you work with the best. So that completely changed things for me. That completely changed things for me. And at that point, I decided I wanted to pivot my life. So I decided I didn't want to be a part-time dad. So I made the decision to spend more time with my family, and at that point, I wanted to put a stake in the sand, exit my company, and spend more time. That's why I moved into property. So at that point, thank you. At that point, one of the first things I did is I went out to find the best performing investor in the space that could help me. So just as in business, I've been working with non-exec chairmen who helped us scale the businesses. I wanted to get a mentor that could help me scale and learn these advanced strategies. So it's not right for everyone, but it worked for me. That person was Carly Houston. Carly worked with me for about a year. We achieved some amazing things in that year. We worked on HMOs, we worked on mindset, we worked on JVs, raising investor funds, everything else. I've got a huge debt of gratitude to thank to Carly for that. So my mission and strategy, so it was to disrupt the HMO market and reimagine shared living for young professionals. I wanted to have quite a lofty ambition. I didn't want to just participate, I wanted to be able to change the market. I wanted to work on a mixture of HMOs and apart hotels, which is serviced accommodation. I wanted to move into thought leadership role through public speaking and content creation, so I'll show you how I did that in a minute. I want to build a network of investors and build on the great work that I did with Carly in that first year. And I wanted to create over 100,000 of passive income, so that was my target for myself. So the way that I did that was to take my learnings of innovation, design, disruption, and bring them all together to create positive disruption to help change the market and inspire other people. So prior to coming into Mastermind, it's about a year and a half ago now, what I really did is I started to take all these inspirations from urban, industrial, styling and rustic and scaffold boards and everything else. I brought them together, I packaged them together, and then I launched them onto the market to disrupt the market. And what I found was that the ripple effect of that going in caused, I got a lot of PR out the back of it and a lot of exposure, and it inspired so many people that there was a different way of doing things. And that got my bug for continually inspiring people. And so when I came into Mastermind, I wanted to go a little bit bigger than this. I wanted to think a bit more broad. This was more than just interior design. This was a complete concept for shared living. So this was about me reimagining the product, the environment, the technology, the services, everything about shared living. And also, working with young professionals as well. I mean, also the language as well, co-living. The HMO has been a bit of a dirty word for a long time, and it's, it doesn't reflect the new wave of landlords. And so the language of co-living and millennials and young professionals, I wanted to champion some of this new movement and this new change that was happening. And so when I came into Mastermind, that was very much my mission that I wanted and my purpose going through. So how have I done that? It's a mixture of brand identity, marketing, lots of marketing, and the product, how I use design to create a specific product for market. I launched with a brand right at the start of Mastermind that tied into the co-living concept. It was a very customer-facing brand. I then created a lot of marketing materials. I created a web presence which had all of my projects on, had the photo shoots. It led with my mission, my purpose, my values. So that was clear to everyone and investors. I created very slick investor packs which could be converted into PDFs that could be sent out. These things are important when there's those valuable touch points when you're meeting people or investors and everything else. Simon does say you don't need a website. That website took 1 weekend to create with no coding experience, but it creates a professional front for me. So you don't need to spend a lot of time on this. I created a lot of content through my Mastermind year, and some of you have been on the receiving end of a lot of my posts, so I apologize in advance for that. But I've created a lot of content. I've written articles, guest articles. I've put out photo shoots. I've put out behind-the-scenes content, the podcast, some of the interview stuff that was happening, and different events that were outside of PIN. And it's all about just constantly putting this content out to help people and to kind of take the learnings that I had and see if that could then contribute into what you're doing. This was an interesting one. I set myself the goal at the start of Mastermind, a stretch goal, if you like, to become an established public speaker. And that started with some work that I did with Andy and Simon on a course, the PIN course. And public speaking is one of those, it's so far outside your comfort zone. That's exactly the reason you want to be doing it. It supercharges your networking, and you get to build credibility with investors and your profile, but also you get to inspire people. So it's a complete win-win. There are so many positives from it. I would implore every single one of you to at the very least, go and try the course and go and see if that's right for you. But it really helps going outside the comfort zone. Then, of course, it's the product that I've been creating over the last kind of 12 months. And that's the product that I create specifically for young professionals in Brighton and the South Coast. So I'm just going to show you some pictures of some projects that have been through this year. This is the kind of stuff we've got known for, very industrial, urban, very kind of magazine-esque, huge attention to detail. A lot of items are not off the shelf, they're bespoke. We custom make them. We're putting in a lot of facilities in there which are from industrial suppliers for restaurants, bars, cafes, with a lot of exposed woods. So it doesn't matter on the scale of the project. We apply the same principles to every project we do. This is one of the projects I'm most proud of. This is probably where I'm in my flow the most. This is, we're completely fabricating the interior of the building here. Complete custom lighting, installations. We're working with materials. We're trying things that hadn't been tried before. This is where I'm in my flow, where we're creating completely immersive environments for people to move into. We're working with different materials. We're experimenting. And the customers, this particular property, I did pre-marketing for 3 weeks. I had 120 people sign up for an advanced priority viewing on this property. First people in the door took the rooms. So, this I see as being the future here. It's creating, and this is only specifically for my market, in my area, but there are so many little learnings here that I hope people can take and be inspired by to go on to create their own disruption in their own markets. So this is an example where we've taken our product and we've lifted it and we put it into the apart hotel space. And this particular property I think we launched this about 2-3 months ago. This is 87% occupancy. 87% occupancy on this property for the whole of the year, from 3 months to the end of the year. And you can just start to get a sense of the quality, of why this has been booked so much. And we've taken the same concept of our product. So our product applies to apart hotels, serviced accommodation, but it also applies to co-living. So a few numbers for you, or a couple of case studies. These aren't necessarily the biggest ones. I just wanted to share with you 2 general case studies. This is a commercial to residential project, the kind of ones which I've done before. This is really good because it has planning uplift. I always buy with development in mind. I have the development head on first because I know that I can add a huge amount of value. We're creating a 5-bed co-living above. We've got a 2-bed flat that's at the rear, which will be rented as a 2-bed co-living. Small retail unit that will be rented out, so 8 units will be on there. Working with investor funds, so we raised funds for this. We got a purchase price of 190, refurbishment 180, estimated value about 550, commercial reval, and giving me an annual net income of over 24,000 on this particular project, and an ROI and cash left in of 58%. So this is in the south coast, so you can make this work, but you need to have the ability to add value. I also should probably mention that this was sourced through a contact I have, a kind of sourcing agent, if you like. It's a really good relationship I have. I'm the first person that gets the call on any of these deals pre-market. So again, relationships are really important. Second example, this is a 3-bed house to 5-bed co-living in central Brighton. This has got a load of really good social amenities in it. We've got a cafe kitchen, which is the style of the ones which I've just shown you. Cinema rooms, private roof terrace, landscape, tropical garden. So, you've got some great social facilities there. Working with investor funds. I raised investor funds on this one. Purchased at 380, refurbed at 110, estimated value after all works of 575, giving me an annual net income of close to 22,000 net, and an ROI of 32%. Now that's in central Brighton. They say it can't work in central Brighton. It does work. You just need to get better at finding these deals. So over my Mastermind journey, I've worked on 6 projects. I've actually deliberately slowed down at the end a little bit. Worked on 6 projects with a new acquisitions value of 2.47 million. I've raised over £500,000 of private finance. I've got equity because I own the assets. I've got equity in these projects. So if it's JV, that's still just my portion of over 687 grand. And I've created a net annual income of 135,000. Now, as I say, I did slow down a little bit because I wanted to take stock of what I was doing through the year. I've got a number of projects that are going right now. It's another 3 projects, taking me up to 9 projects, total new asset value of 4 million. That will take me to 56 units with an equity of 926. 926 grand's worth of equity across those projects, and an annual net income of 166,000. But where it gets really interesting is where we assume a 3.5% capital appreciation, because remember, I'm in the south coast, so that's a conservative estimate there. That means that just the assets, without me doing anything, are going up £124,000 a year. Mix that with the rental I'm getting, that's over £250,000 a year. £250,000 a year. I mean, they don't teach you this in school. But luckily, Simon's on a mission to change that. So that's a good thing. So I don't want you to look at all of this and think it's easy for him. He had it, it was easy for him to do that. It wasn't easy at all. This has been one of the toughest years of my life. I haven't had any holidays. I've had late nights. There's been planning issues because I'm working on a lot of things that have planning related to them, so they're going to slow me down. There's building issues because I'm running a lot of refurbs, and previously I was doing one at a time. Now I've got multiple going on. Things are going to happen. It's all going to be thrown at you. Neighbour issues, just to throw into the mix as well. And of course, funding coming in late, which causes cash flow issues. These are all stressful things. And you're going to be so far outside of your comfort zone that you are going to encounter some hairy moments. So you have to stay laser focused, you have to stay carry on moving forward, and you will get through them. So what's next? Firstly, scaling the apart hotels business. So I said that I was mentored by Carly. That turned into a friendship and now into a business that we now have together, where we're scaling business. Apart hotels within Brighton, Carly, Kirsten, and Lee Pemberton. So my number one priority is spending a lot more time there. There's a lot we're going to be unveiling with our brand and everything else in the coming months, and so I'll gradually start to release to you what that is. But there's some amazing stuff there, and it's all part of my journey. Expanding co-living spaces within Brighton and Hove. I've got a huge opportunity. I'm massively oversubscribed, and there's a huge market opportunity for me there. And I'm the only person creating this premium product for the customer, which is exactly what they want. So I'm going to carry on doing that. Working on larger mixed-use co-living and co-working projects. I've got opportunities there. I've got JV partners and funding in place, so it's just about finding the right projects for that. More public speaking and articles. So I want to build on the work that I've done this year. I've taken a huge amount of positivity from being able to turn up at events, and people have travelled to see you speak, and they've been inspired, and they've done things differently, and they've gone out, and they've gone and disrupted, and between all of us, we've raised the market. That's an amazing thing. I want to carry on that. More time with my family, because I've spent a lot of time at property this year. Lastly, I've promised my wife, we are going on holiday in 2018, because we haven't had any holidays. So we put them on hold in 2017, so we are definitely going on holiday next year. My top tips for everyone. Firstly, operate outside your comfort zone. The public speaking, the hairy moments that I mentioned, they are all out. This is your comfort zone. All of this stuff is out here. That's where the magic's going to happen. The more any opportunity you have to go outside your comfort zone, you should take it. It's going to be painful, but that's how you're going to get traction and move forward. Have a clear mission and purpose. People buy into people. So, if you can find what that mission and purpose is and lead by that, you'll find that people will resonate with what your mission and purpose is. They will say, I totally get why you're doing that. I want to come on that journey with you. And the numbers become secondary to the person, because they're investing in you. So build your tribe. Tell everyone what you do. Simon teaches us this. I've shared with you a lot of techniques on marketing there. Again, marketing. Tell everyone what you do. Give as much as you can, and you're just building that tribe of people that resonate with you, that want to work with you. Apply constant innovation. So you all know the 80-20 rule. If you just apply 20% innovation to every project you do, so 20% try new things, experiment, your product will move forward constantly, and you will move ahead of your competition. It will insulate you against the market, and you'll become more oversubscribed. Lead by design. If I've shown anything this year, it's that design sells. We've known this. Julie Maurice has taught it for a long time, but the customer wants good design. The market will change, and design will become such an integral part to the creation of a product that we will create. Be customer-centric. Put the customer at the heart of everything that you do, every design decision you do, every facility and service you put in there. Put the customer at the heart of it. If you create amazing customer experiences, you will be oversubscribed. I've shown you that it works. If you do the same thing, you will find that in your own markets as well. And finally, going all the way back to the original work that I did with Carly, focus on relationships. Some of the best wins I've had this year, whether that's off-market deals, whether that's business opportunities, PR, marketing, any of it has come as a result of relationships. People that you resonate with, that you want to spend time with, that you invest in developing and spending time in these relationships and building them out. So finally, it's just a massive thank you to all of you, because this is a really kind of inspiring space, and I've been inspired by everyone in this room. Thank you to my family. Thank you to Carly and Kirsten for their support, and certainly Carly's belief originally that my vision of what I wanted to do to disrupt was that I believed I could do it, but I didn't know I could do it. So thank you. Thank you, Simon, as well. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Wow.